I'm under no illusions at all. This is going to be a seriously hard fight.
What dreams and aspirations going on in unifying the division?
A year ago I was being written off. I'm in the prime of my life.
When I'm landing shots, the crowd will be roaring.
The timing's right now to win back my fourth world title.
December 22nd is going to be a hell of a night.
And he's hurt, looking to put him away, right here and now. And it's all over.
December the 22nd at the Manchester Arena. I think it's going to be one of the fights of the year. In fact, I'm absolutely certain it's going to be one of the fights of the year. Josh Warrington defending his IBF featherweight title against Carl Frampton. The guys really don't need a lot of introduction. It's a fight which sells itself. I'm absolutely certain it's going to be a complete sellout. There's going to be a fabulous atmosphere. And the question is, who's going to win? And what do the two fighters think of each other? Well, let's start with Josh, IBF champion. You're coming into this one. I know you have massive respect for this fella, or you do at the moment.
Yep.
How do you see this as a fight?
Well, first of all, it's a fight I believe I can win. As I've said many times in interviews, I've got a lot of respect for Carl. I've enjoyed watching him. I would go as far as to say fan at times watching. Always exciting style, but this is boxing and it's a business as well. And I worked hard, many hard years to get that title. Against all odds, picked it up, and I don't intend to lose it. You know, I believe that this, not just that fight with Lee Selby, but this year is my year. And a few years ago, I remember Carl saying it was the year of the Jackal. This time it's the year of the Leeds Warrior, and I'm very confident going into this fight. And you know, I know Carl is as well, but no, I think it's my time.
And what about you, Carl, as you come into this as the challenger?
Yeah. No, it's a fight that has me excited. I think that Josh is a good fighter. I've said that, and again, I have a lot of respect for him. But I believe that I'm a better fighter. I believe I'm going to prove it on the night. It's going to be a difficult fight. I know I like his style. It's like an exciting style. He comes forward. He tries to put pressure on. I like that style too for myself. I like come forward fighters. And I feel like I always perform well against guys who come forward and throw a lot. So it's exciting, but I believe I win the fight.
As Carl's built towards this fight, and most recently against Luke Jackson, where you were at ringside,
yeah,
you'll have studied him.
Yeah.
What do you think? What have you seen?
Not just from the Luke Jackson fight. Obviously, you've got to keep tabs on your opponents around the division. And obviously, when Carl made the announcement they were moving up to featherweight, then I'd gone from watching him with enjoyment to really looking at him and trying to see, study him as a fighter. I was over there when he had the rematch with Santa Cruz, and like I say, I've watched quite a few of his fights. There's a few things me and the team have picked up, and we think we can exploit and we can work on.
What's he telling me? I'll sort it out in the gym.
Only, yeah, if only. For a fantastic performance against Denard and Luke Jackson, but I feel like when we talk about levels, I feel like I'm not Luke Jackson, I'm not a Denard. Denard were a great fighter, but I think he'd passed his time, and a young prime hungry Warrington is not just going to have the same opportunities to do the same stuff. But
I would agree with that. Like I've said it, I think it's a tougher fight, and I would completely agree with that. But again, I think I raise my level when the pressure's on and when they batter the opponent. Obviously, I've had a loss in my career with the Santa Cruz, and it wasn't a great performance. But
what went wrong that night?
Well, a few things. I think a lot of people.
Why did you lose that fight?
It's just, I don't know. I underperformed, and he boxed this style that I didn't believe. Like, there was at times he went on the back foot, and I didn't think that he was going to do it. Never seen it before, so I just believed he's going to come forward. Got it wrong. Tactically, got it wrong, and had a bad night. And it was a close fight, but he won the fight fair and square. I have no complaints about that. He won it. But apart from that fight and that blip in my career, I believe when the pressure's on and when I'm in big fights, I can perform.
Josh, though, against Lee Selby, you showed there that you're more than just a pressure fighter, a lot more than just a pressure fighter, because I think he expected you, and his camp expected you just to plough forward and be all-out aggression. But it was a lot more than that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I get labelled a lot of time as just a pressure fighter, fit, just got one-dimensional, one style. But I think over the years, in certain performances, I've shown that I can box on back foot. I think I'd like to think I'm adaptable in certain situations, adapt to the opponent in front of me. And in times when, there were times in that last fight where I did have to go forward, and there were times when I went on back foot. So obviously with Carl, I think he's an adaptable fighter as well. He's got a good boxing brain, and I think that's where people really will look at me as an adaptable fighter when, December 22nd comes.
Well, it was a good fight against Selby, and I'd said that I'd fancied Selby before the fight, and Josh proved me wrong, like a lot of other people. I think that the game plan was brilliant. He wasn't just aggressive, but he was picking his times when he needed to be aggressive, and he was defending well. Like picking certain moments in the round, putting a little combo together, and then moving around a bit. I thought it was a good performance, but I know Josh will get a lot of confidence from that, and I know your fans will get a lot of confidence from that, but I'm looking at that fight and going, Selby was dead at the weight, absolutely dead at the weight, and that's my opinion. And it was a good performance, you had to do what you had to do, but I'm looking at that going, I would have stopped Lee Selby that night.
Beforehand, though, Lee Selby and his people said that he wasn't at their level.
Listen, it comes with territory, innit? I go and beat Carl, and people say that Carl's had his day, and Carl, there'll be some over excuse. Lee were meant to play with me. They wanted next. All the boxing experts were saying they were going to do this. I felt like I didn't ever got out of second gear. I said to me, I would feel like halfway through the fight, let's pick it up. And he said, don't, we're going through, we're winning it easy. Keep making him look daft. I felt if I needed to, if at the fan, I could have stopped him. I felt a number of times I looked him in the eyes and I seen him, he was gone. It only took a few more punches, but I was happy with that performance. And yeah, like you say, you look at that and think that you could have stopped him. I feel like I could have stopped him, but
Should have then.
I should have done, yeah. But I think it was nice to, after people saying that your head boxed off and played with and head bopping forward like Noddy, I outboxed the boxer, and I took better pleasure out of that, to be honest with you.
Where do you think you're superior to Josh? Because I've heard you interviewed and saying it's a question of levels, and I'm at a different level.
I think that Josh, without sounding disrespectful, like I feel like I've fought at a higher level so far, but that's not his fault. He fights who's put in front of him. I've been fighting guys like Santa Cruz, even Quigg, and Kiko Martinez when he was world champion at the time. They were high level fights. I just believe that in most, probably all, I have a little bit more than Josh. I'm talking about punching power. I'm talking about boxing IQ. Like, I'm talking about my distance control. I think they're all things that I'm better at. I think Josh's work rate is probably better than mine at times, but that's something that we'll work on in the gym. And we know that it's probably going to be an intense fight, and there's going to be a lot of punches thrown. But so that's something I'm looking at. But mainly, I believe I'm a better fighter.
Anything rile you up there? Boxing IQ, not as good as his.
Yeah, I'm a boxing dope. No, I don't. Listen, he's going to be entitled to his opinion. He's going to think that. I've been doubted from day one. I've been doubted from English level all the way through to world level. Not many people thought I was going to win a British title. So, for Carl to say that he don't think this, listen, Lee Selby fought a lot worse. He thought that he could write all my boxing credentials on the back of a postage stamp, as it were. So, Carl's given me a bit of credit there, so I'll take that. But, I mean, in terms of punch power, that's one thing what gets looked at, because I've only had 6 KOs. I think a lot of people are very surprised when they get in there, and I've grown into weight like perfectly, and now it's about timing. And I feel like I'm reaching my peak years. And just like you, prior, you had your good fights with, Quigg and Martinez and Leo Santa Cruz, and that were like your wave. And I'm not saying that you're finished, but I believe that this is my time, and my time will prevail on the night.
That's why it's going to be a good fight, because he thinks it's his time. I think it's my comeback trail to become a world champion again. I think that's why it has all the ingredients for a good fight.
Where do you think you are, talent-wise, fitness-wise, if you like, compared with 3 years ago? Because a lot of people would say, Carl Frampton, yeah, talented fighter, but has he peaked?
I think that I'm in my peak years now, and I think that the way I was training beforehand, I was overtrained. Even in fights, I'm talking about fights with Leo Santa Cruz, we were winning, and I'm beating these guys in these fights, but was probably going in, probably overtrained, and was counting down the days till I retired, and it was this mythical age of 32. I'm done at 32. Can't wait to go to sport, because it was a hard slog. Everything was hard graft. But my last couple of fights against Donaire, you know, a 12-round fight, I felt like I could have done 15 rounds. Luke Jackson, 9th round, wasn't breathing. I think the approach and training with Jimmy Moore has helped prolong my career, and I believe that I'm in the prime years right now.
Do you think he's past his best?
I would say that, looking at being ringside for a couple of his last fights, I would say probably shying off of the Carl that I'd seen when he beat Santa Cruz, when he beat Quigg. Maybe that's with opposition, like you said earlier. When you're in with a different level, you bring a different game. I certainly feel like that. I feel like, especially when I'm back against World, and I fight harder, certainly prepare harder. But you know, we'll see. Time will tell. Obviously, as a featherweight, you don't have a long, prolonged period of time at the peak level. So, listen, that's why we decided to fight. Let's not forget, I didn't have to fight Carl. You know, they all build up prior to me and Selby fighting, where the winner gets to fight Carl, but that wasn't like the dangling carrot for me, winning the world title. And then Carl probably were preparing for Lee, but you know, change our game plan, and I want to fight Carl because I believe I'm the best, and I want to, you know, be top spot for Christmas at round number 1.
How much has having this belt changed your life, Josh?
I mean, I'm still shop at Asda and that. I don't go to, you know, I'm not down Weight Wars or Marks and Spencer's. I'm still same old me. But you know, I've worked hard to get that, and you know, prior to the fight, all I wanted to do was have my arm raised. After the fight, I was prepared to take on world, and I believe that. Come away from there thinking I'm not even sure like a fraction of what I'm really capable of doing. I felt like in the Selby fight, like I said, there were a few more gears to go, and I still didn't bring him. So, you know, if I come into the change room, I have to say who's next, and I'm prepared to go on and fight the very best. That's why I want to fight Carl, and I believe after that, you know, I want to go on and unify the division, just like Carl did, and you know, the way that you know you're a true champion is just testing yourself against the best.
And how much would it mean to you to have that belt again and to be able to walk around and say, yeah, I'm world champion?
Yeah, it would mean the world to me, really, because I have been written off, and people have think, you know, you lose to a quality fighter like Santa Cruz and suddenly you're done, you're on the scrap heap. And I had a comeback fight against Horatio Garcia where I gassed, I got tired, but I just linked up with Jimmy Moore, and I think I had about a 6-week camp, which is short for me, 6.5 weeks. I like a 12-week camp, which is what I'll be doing for this fight. And people are going, he's done, he's over the hill. But the last 2 performances against Donaire and Jackson, I feel like I've cruised and I haven't really got out of first gear. So for me to come back and prove people who have doubted me wrong and become a world champion again, that's going to be a very, very special moment in my career. I'm a better fighter. I believe that I'm going to show it on the night. I don't think you've fought anyone like me.
Go in the ring, have a good setup, punch his head in, win the fight, he's champion for Christmas, have a pint after, simple as that.
I just believe when I perform, I can win this fight, and I can win it confidently and comfortably.
You know, there might be a little thing into later rounds, like how bad do you want it, and the bat on the gum shield, but like I say, I'm willing to die in there, so I'll give absolutely everything.
I want to have that title so much.
You've both of you got used to fighting in front of passionate support. Yourself last time out at Elland Road, you at Windsor Park in Belfast. Neutral ground this time. Mm-hmm. What sort of a difference is that going to make? Who's that going to suit the better? Start with you.
Listen, I spent most of my first part of my career on the road. I had 15 fights. I won the English title away from home. I won Commonwealth. I know that's on a smaller scale, but you know, at that time, that's what we used to. Fighting away from home, it don't surprise me. Listen, in my last fight, at 20-odd thousand there, I was a massive, massive underdog, and they all sitting behind me, and it felt as though all my career was riding on that. You know, I'm only 27, and it felt like if I'd have got beat there, the bubble would have burst, and that would have been me done. So a lot of pressure on my shoulders, but I've taken heaps and heaps of experience from that night, just that night alone, John. I believe it's going to be a hell of an atmosphere, and I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. Obviously, Manchester Arena, biggest one in country 35 minutes on a plane from Belfast, 40 minutes down 62 if there's not an accident, and we, you know, Christmas dust up, it's going to be a hell of a fight and a hell of an atmosphere.
How much do you feed off the fans' support? Because you get this sort of spine-tingling support, the pair of you. I've been there, experienced it. I mean, how much of a difference does it make to you?
Well, I've always said it adds something to my game, and whether that be, you know, you're talking about a couple of percent, but it's the small margins in professional sport. At the very high end of professional sport, you're always looking for that extra little bit, and when I have the crowd on my back, I feel like it helps me. And help push over the line. And the thing is, it's going to be different this time, because when I fight, even when I fought Santa Cruz in New York, I had the majority of the fans there, and when I'm fighting as the home fighter, they're cheering everything. They're cheering. You're hitting people on the arms and the gloves, and you get a cheer and you get a G up out of that. But it's going to be different now. They're going to be cheering him when he's hit me in the arms. My fans are going to be cheering when nothing's really happened. Like, it's going to be different than I've expected before.
How much of a difference does it make to you, Josh, having that?
Say, over the last 3, 4, maybe 5, I don't know how long I've been fighting at the arena now, but you know, fighting at home, it is like the 12th man. I've said it many times. It can make a difference, especially when you think you're not doing enough. You know, raw at crowd, and the ladies lot, especially the last fight, were fantastic for all that fight. You know, when it fights, you just want to perform for them, and it makes you look for a little bit extra. But at the same time, in them early days, I remember thriving off the, you know, being the underdog and the away fighter, and when crowds against you, and you know, like when Carl was saying there, the jab comes through and hits your arms and gloves, and crowd roars, you know, I'm a bit of a weirdo, and I'm going to OCD. I want to hit them back, and I want to shut them crowd up. You know what I mean? So at the same time, you know, the crowd, when they're against me, I thrive off that, but when they're behind me, I thrive off it as well. So win-win really, but I'm certainly looking forward to being in front of it.
So crystal ball time. We're a few weeks away now, but look into the guy's eyes and tell him what you think is going to be the pattern of the fight come December the 22nd. How do you think that fight is going to unfold?
I don't want to give away a full game plan and whatnot, but you know, it goes without saying. Go in the ring, have a good setup, punch his head in, win the fight, he's champion for Christmas, have a pint after, simple as that.
Carl?
I believe that I'm a better fighter. I believe that I'm going to show it on the night. I don't think you've fought anyone like me before, and I win the fight. I don't predict ever really how I'm going to win the fight, but the most important thing is to win the fight, and I'll do whatever it takes to have my hand raised at the end.
Why are you confident?
Oh, because I'm willing to die in there. I always say to myself, I'm willing to go in there. I don't care if I get, you know, taken out in stretcher, as long as the arm gets raised, and that's how I prepare for the fight. I prepare in gym like I'm a man possessed, and I've got to that level now, and I don't want to give up now, and that's what it is. And whatever I've got to do to win, I'll win. And for me, it's about getting, like I say, the arm raised, and that's it. That's it, John. There's no else. I just levels everything what the doubters, any haters, what everyone got said, whatever Carl says. Like I say, I respect his opinion, but at the same time, it just means no to me, because you know, I've got all blinkers on, and there's no one can distract me. It's my year, and like I say, I've worked far too hard over the years to get to this stage, and I'm not going to give it up now.
There's a tiny bit of you that fears that sort of commitment, that sort of ambition.
Don't fear anyone. People, you know, I've been seen in the past as a big test for people, and they train hard, and I hear it all the time, and they do everything. And I understand that Josh is a quality trainer, but people, I think, get the impression that I'm a joker and I don't put the effort in. I graft like anyone else, and I'll be ready. I have to be ready. I know it's going to be a tough fight. I'm not, without sounding disrespectful, I'm not trying to say this is going to be an easy fight. I don't believe that at all. I just believe when I perform, I can win this fight, and I can win it confidently and comfortably.
What is the single biggest difference between you and him?
I don't think there's many differences. Are you talking about boxing and
whatever.
style?
Boxing, psychologically, whatever, however you see it.
Taller.
You're taller.
Everyone's taller than me.
He's Irish, I'm from Leeds. I've been from
I think we're similar. I think we're both hungry fighters. We're similar. We're similar enough styles. I don't think there's too many big differences. I think the main difference, though, is punching power. I agree with him, though, that he's saying that his knockout record is I think he punches harder in this without sparring him or taking a shot off him, but I think he punches harder than his record suggests. But I think I punch that bit harder again.
Josh?
Yeah, like I said, I realise that Carl he stopped some lads at the ice level, but when it's come to featherweight, just for me, it doesn't seem to have the same kind of sting in the punches, and let's not forget, I've never touched a canvas. I've never been down, not in sparring or in training or in a fight, and I'd like to think that I can take a good shot and keep on going forward. I can put my hand on my heart and say I've never been hurt in a fight. So someone else's power, it don't really bother me whatsoever. And like I say, once I get my own off, then I think that'll turn the tide in the fight.
I started this one off, lads, by saying I thought it was going to be the fight of the year, quite possibly. Do you go along with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think styles make fights. In terms of the atmosphere and how it'll build up, I think there's going to be a lot of energy in the fight. The way you look at it, I mean, Carl, like I say, he's a very good boxer. He's got, he knows how to adapt, and you can see him, he's had fights, and he can go on the back foot as well. But I believe that I can do that as well. So whatever he decides to do, I can throw something in there what will change that. And I think that's what's going to be entertaining about the fight, to be honest with you. He's already noted I do like to fight at a nice pace, and for me, it's only 36 minutes, and that's what I think we'll be fighting for every minute, every second of the fight, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Carl, fight of the year?
Potentially, I think this is probably going to be the fight that the Quigg fight for myself wasn't. It was boring, dull fight. I don't for a second think that Josh's tactics are going to be the same as Scott Quigg's that night. I think he's a hungrier fighter, and I think he's a champion now, and he wants to hold on to that. And again, that makes this fight good. But I want to have that title so much.
I think a lot of people would say, who's the stronger man psychologically? That might be a key. Are you confident that that's you?
I think I'm pretty strong mentally. I'd say he's probably the same, but
yeah, I was saying, I think when you're fighting in front of thousands of fans, you have an expectation, and like he boxed at Windsor Park last time. I boxed Ellen Road. It's a different kettle of fish when you're fighting in a stadium. You've got so many people, especially Carl has the Old Belfast behind him when he fights. I have the Old Leeds behind me, and I think you learn to grasp a thick skin and deal with pressure. I think we're past that now. I certainly feel like I'm past that. I know Carl's boxed all over the world now, and he'll probably feel like he's past that. So, to be honest with you, I don't think that'll come into it too much. There might be a little thing into later rounds, like how bad do you want it, and a bat on the gum shield. But like I say, I'm willing to die in there, so I'll give absolutely everything. And obviously that'll be something what comes down to.
It's going to be some night. I'm looking forward to it massively. It's going to be one to look forward to hugely. Is he going to keep his title? Are we going to see a new champion? Be sure to watch it December 22nd. If you can't be there, it's with us here on BT. Hope you can be with us.